morning children. Now today teacher is going to continue the lesson. Yesterday you have learned what is a unicellular organism and a multicellular organism. So we all know that in multicellular organisms it is made up of more than one cells, isn't it? So we human beings are all multicellular organisms. Now in our body there are different types of cells. Our body is made up of flesh, bones, blood, then muscles, nerve cells. You have seen in the TV yesterday, isn't it? So our body has many functions and there are a lot of organs inside our body. So all these are made up of different types of cells. So today we are going to see or to observe an animal cell. So we are also animals, isn't it? We belong to the animal kingdom. So we are going to observe the animal cell. So which is the easiest animal cell which we can observe? That is the human cheek cell. What is it? It is the cheek cell. That is the cell which we can take from our body very easily. Now to observe the cheek cell, we need certain things. We all know it is very small. We cannot see with the eyes. So what we have to use here? We have to use a microscope. So to observe under the microscope, what are the things we need? We need a slide, isn't it? We need a slide. Then we need a toothpick, or we can use a bud also. Then we have something called as the stain. This is methylene blue stain. This is used to see the animal cell, and there is one more stain here with me. This is called as the safranin solution. This is mainly used to see the plant cells. So when we are observing the plant cell, onion cell, we have to observe. That time teacher will be using this one. Today we are going to use the blue stain. Why are we using a stain? Because the cells are colorless. So when we keep the cell on the slide like this, we will not be able to recognize it properly. So what are we going to do? We are going to give color to the cell. So that is why we are using the stain. So what happens? The color of the cell will change. So it will be easy for us to observe. Now today I am going to take the cheek cell of one of your friends. She is here in my home. Krishna Priya, please come here. This is Krishna Priya. You know her. I am going to take the cheek cell of Krishna Priya. So now I am going to give her a toothpick here. So she is going to collect the cheek cell from inside her mouth. So you have to keep it inside your cheek here and rub it 10 times. Just like this. So keep it inside the cheek and rub it and give it to me. Rub it nicely. By the time she is doing that, I am going to prepare the slide. So before preparing the slide, here I am going to put a drop of water, because we need a liquid medium. I am going to put a drop of water here. After that, I am going to take a drop of stain. I am adding a drop of stain. Now you can see the color of the stain is changing, the color of the water is changing. And I am just spreading it on the slide. So now this should not move off, isn't it? So we are going to cover it with a cover glass. So now our slide is ready. So now we are going to observe Krishna Priya's cheek cell under the microscope. So now it is ready. Now Krishna Priya is going to observe through the eyepiece. You have to close one eye and look through this. I am zooming through the microscope. So you can see the cheek cells of Krishna Priya, isn't it? When you come to school, I will be showing you. Can you see? Nicely, can you see? Yes. So there are a lot of cheek cells in this. So now she has observed the cheek cells through the microscope. Now I am a big person, a grown up person, isn't it? Krishna Priya is a small girl. Now, her height and my height is different. So, are you the same size as the time when you were born? No, isn't it? You have grown up. When you are born, you are a very small baby, and as years go by, what happens to you? You grow bigger and fatter and taller, isn't it? That time, what happens to your cells? Why do we grow? When we grow, do our cells also grow? That we are going to observe through the microscope. Now, this is the slide of Krishna Priya's cheek cell. This I have already prepared a slide of my cheek cell. Now, Krishna Priya is going to observe my cheek cell through the microscope, and she is going to tell you whether her cheek cell and my cheek cell, whether the size is different. So, we are going to observe it through the microscope. Look through this. Did you see? Is there any difference between your cell and my cell? No. No. It is somewhat the same. It is the same size. This is teacher's cheek cell, what Krishna Priya saw through the microscope. You can also see. So now if you compare both the cells, you can see that the size of both my cheek cell and Krishna Priya's cheek cell are the same. So now you have observed both the cell of a small girl and a grown up cell also. So here you understood that the size of the cell is always the same. So now one experiment you have seen here, isn't it? You have today's workers, you have to write down this experiment. What is the experiment? Using a microscope, how we can see the cheek cell, how can we prepare the slide, and how we can see the cheek cell. So for example, yesterday also that master has shown you, that is when you already have a picture in your textbook, when you are building a house. When you are building a small house, and if you are building a big bungalow also, what do we use? We don't use different size of stones. Always the size of the brick is the same. But why do we get a big house and why do we get a small house? It is only because the number of cells increases. So here also what can we conclude? As we grow, what happens to us? The size of the cell is always the same, but the number of our cells will increase. So I will have millions and millions of cells in my body. I will have more cells than you have in your body. So that is the difference in the size of the living being. So for example, if it is an elephant and an ant, what will it be? The ant will have lesser number of cells and an elephant will have many number of cells in the body. That is why the size differs. So the size of the cell does not change. The number of the cells in an organism changes according to the size. I hope it is very clear for you. So for tomorrow you have to write down the experiment. I will send the details as a PDF. Thank you, children.